Welcome to Baltimore, a city known for its seafood and large industries. It's now becoming known as a major producer of college athletes. The competition found in its basketball and football recreation leagues is so intense that recruiters from around the nation come to watch these athletes even before they enter high school. One of the most successful programs in Baltimore is that of Bentalou Recreation Center. It has been directed by Mr. Herman Johnson for the last 20 years. Hello and good evening. I'm here in Bentalou Recreation Center in Baltimore City, known as home of the players, with the director of Bentalou Recreation Center, Mr. Herman Johnson. Welcome, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Mr. Johnson, how long have you been coaching basketball here at the Recreation Center?
I've been coaching here about 20 years now. And I started out when I was about 16 years old as a volunteer for the Recreation. And I did about 3 years of that, and I was hired as part-time. Did 2 years part-time work, and then they were hiring me as a full-time staff member.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, you have a real successful program here at Bentalou Recreation Center. We'd like to know what inspires you to coach.
Well, the young kids are the ones that really keeps me going, and I like to see the kids when they come along and they don't know how to play, and then I try to teach them how to play and give them skills of the game, and I like to see them make the progress in the game.
Is there any particular reason why the program here at Bentalou is so successful?
Well, one thing, we do a lot of work and a lot of teaching. We like stop the players, go over things, make sure that the players do understand what's going on, and to be able to understand the game and know the game.
After leaving Bentalou Recreation Center, do most of your players move on to bigger or better things?
A lot of the kids wind up playing, first of all, high school basketball, and then a lot of them go on to, some of them have been lucky enough to go on to major colleges, and some go to junior colleges, you know. The main thing is that they do go to college.
Okay. Allegheny star and University of Maryland point guard Rudy Archer played here at one time, didn't
he? Yeah, Rudy started here about 7 years old, started with the program, and he was the one that grew up. Like I said, started at 7 and went on up to the 8 to 10 age groups, on up till 18 years old. And then, like once the kid becomes 14 or 15-year-old, we try to encourage them to play high school basketball. So then he went to Southwestern High School.
Could you name any of the other players who may have made it to college or maybe the pro ranks even?
Yeah, we had Kenneth Bannister, who went to the New York Knicks for 2 years. And we had, of course, Rudy Archie went to the University of Maryland. We had, there's so many of them, it's hard to think of all the names of the players that were lucky enough to go to big-time colleges.
Okay, here at Bentalou Recreation Center, it's located in a very low-income area. You sort of serve as a surrogate father for a lot of the kids. Do you feel this as a responsibility to the community, or is something?
Yeah, responsibility to the community and also to the kids to try to give them some guidings and give them something to do more than just basketball, learning the skills of basketball, but also being responsible and showing courtesy and being on time and those other types of things on and off the court.
The program, as it now sets, do you have any players coming up that looks bright for the future to keep the tradition going?
Yes, we have a whole bunch of kids that's coming up right now, and just about all the age groups that's coming up now that's doing a real good job.
What are the different age groups here at Bentalou?
Right now we're working with 3 age groups. The younger groups are 8 to 10. The second group is from 10 to 12. And the oldest group during the winter season that we have is the 12 to 14.
On an average, about how many games a year do these kids play?
Well, most of the time these kids may be in two leagues, so they may average about 20, 24 games a year.
Around the nation, they have camps during the summer. Are any of these kids invited to participate?
Yes, we do get information from other camps, and Bentalou also runs a basketball camp. We have our own camp during the summer months of June and July.
Okay, thank you for your time, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
I'm about to break, and I'm going to bring in 2 of the most promising players at Bentalou University right now. Rudy, how did you begin playing basketball?
Well, Paul, began when I was 5 years old, and I was playing football outside of the recreation center. And I went into the recreation center to get a drink of water, and there was a team short of a man. They had 4 people against 5, so therefore I participated, made the teams even. which was 5 players against 5. And ever since then, I found a love for the game, and I've been playing the game ever since.
You began playing basketball at Bentalou Recreation Center in Baltimore City. What do you think of the recreation center and the system there?
Well, I can only speak for the recreation center I participated at. When I learned to play basketball at, and that was Bentalou. I think it was a great organization. There's a young man by the name of Herman Johnson who took a lot of kids from off the streets and, brought them inside and taught them some way, to express themselves other than doing things that wasn't right, such as drugs or crimes or things of that nature that would get a kid in trouble. I think basketball was an escape for a lot of, city kids. It kept them out of trouble, and it really helped me a lot because I've came to enjoy the game now, and it's really kept me out of trouble, and it's a way of expressing myself.
After leaving Southwestern High School, you went to Allegheny Community College before attending the University of Maryland. What's the difference between junior college basketball and major college basketball?
Well, I think at the junior college level, I think basketball is it's a way of expressing yourself also, again, but I think that intensity is not as fast as it was, or the game is not taken to a higher level in junior college, as a junior college field. But I think in major college basketball, I think there's a lot of enthusiasm on the game, more enthusiasm than there is in junior college. It's more emphasis on the game.
From the 1987-88 season, what was your biggest thrill at the University of Maryland?
Well, I think the biggest thrill was basically putting on a uniform and playing at the University of Maryland, and coming from the city of Baltimore, being a city kid. For me, that was a big step, and really helped me a lot in my life. But I think, as far as the season goes, I think we went to the NCAA tournament. We had a pretty good season of 18 and 13, and we went to the NCAA. We won some games, and it really helped us a lot. It brought a lot of money to the school, a lot of notoriety, for the guys that played on the team. And also, it helped the state, a lot as far as money-wise. But I think our thrill was, just to do good in the season. And basically, it was a rebounding season for the University of Maryland. And Coach Wade, the new coach there, was new. So it was really a step for him in the right direction.
During the off-season, a lot of people think you just put basketball down. But to keep in shape, what do you do during the summer?
Well, I think you have to do the necessary things to improve yourself as far as basketball, like work on your individual skills, whatever it may be, dribbling, shooting, passing, playing defense, that type of nature. I think during the season, to keep in shape, there are leagues around the city or around the area that you can participate in also.
During the 1988-89 season, you have to sit out. With the 89-90 season, you'll be back again. What are your goals for that season?
Well, I think my goals is just to lead the ACC. My individual goal is to lead the ACC and assist and take my team back to where I left off at, and that was the NCAA tournament. Hopefully the big prize in NCAA is to win the national championship, and that's my dream. I know it's a big dream, but I think it can be accomplished if, everybody play together and everybody have the same type of dreams.
What advice would you give some of the younger players starting out in basketball today?
Well, I know as for myself, watching the NBA on TV or watching college guys on TV, I think you have a tendency to try to be like those guys. But my advice to a young person would be to just take some of the things that the guys, pro guys and the college guys does and put it into your game. Not try and be like them, but, try to be as good as them.
I'd like to thank you for the interview, Rudy.
You're welcome.
Another Bentalou recreation player, senior wide receiver from the University of Maryland, Vernon Joyce. Good afternoon, Vernon.
Good afternoon, Paul.
Vernon, how did you get started playing basketball at Bentalou?
Well, during the time when we was growing up, it wasn't really important to be on the streets. Now with the drug culture and all of that things, everybody into the streets. But back when we was growing up, everybody, became a part of Bentalou. All your friends played, so naturally you just came up here to play basketball. That's what you did after school, come to Bentalou and play basketball, and that's how I got started.
Playing organized basketball, do you think it helped you at the University of Maryland?
Well, I think it did because Bentalou, offers a variety of programs. You start off with the 11 under program, then you go to the 13 under program, then the 15 under, all the way up to the 18 under, and then you have an unlimited program if you want to play then. So it prepares you from the 11 under, teach you the basic skills of playing the game, and then you go up to 13 and under. Then you learn the game a little bit more. You get physically, you get a little bit stronger. A lot of attention comes with the 13 under bracket. And by the time you reach the 15 under, 18-year-old bracket, it's just all important of taking your skills and make them work for you. So you learn how to take, when those guys is like the dunk, you know how to get the dunks in. You use your quickness, your shot and your jumper. So it prepares you with all the aspects of the game, and also you play with people your age, so the competition is there. And that's how it helped me a lot. The competition, it helped you a whole lot all the time, prepare you mentally and physically all the time.
After leaving Southwestern High School, you were a tri-letter athlete. You played football, basketball, and also ran track. You could have went to many major colleges in any of these sports. What made you choose football?
Well, at the time, my physicalness, was built for, football. My high school coach, which is like a father figure to me, Mr. Fred Bullock, he taught me the basics of, taking your ability and make it work for you. Though I ran track and, played basketball, I think football, suited my body, speed, and I had a lot more football offers. I could have basically went to any school in the country to play football, but only the schools on the East Coast wanted me for basketball. So because that kind of boosts my ego towards football, because everybody wanted me to play football, so that made me choose football. And also my mother, she's right here close to Maryland. Maryland wouldn't offer me a full scholarship in basketball. They was offering me a partial scholarship in basketball, and I wanted to be close to my mother, so I played football so I could stay here with University of Maryland, be close to my mother.
Okay, Vernon, playing basketball in the off season, does you feel it helps your game, your football game?
Yeah, of course it does. Basketball is a sport that you use all your muscles all the time. You jump, you constantly running, you're getting bumped a lot, you have to use your strength, your arms and stuff like that. So it definitely prepares me for football, you're running all the time. See, football, you run a couple of plays and you take a couple of plays off, but not in basketball. You're constantly going up and down the floor for, 15 minutes at a time. And, playing up here, the competition is very tough. We got everybody coming home from college at this time of the year. They want something to do, and coming up here and playing basketball, it's the thing to do. And the place is safe. Herman don't let a lot of strangers into the gym. You ain't got to worry about, when you go outside, somebody wanting to fight, because everybody know each other. So you ain't got to worry about none of that stuff. So I think coming here and playing basketball here helps me out a lot, keeps me in shape, I'll tell you that. I'm one of those guys that like to eat a lot of ice cream and cake and stuff, so I'll get fat quick. So that's what I do, come here and play basketball.
Now that you've completed your 4 years at the University of Maryland, what does the future hold for Vernon Joins?
Well, I have a criminology major, economics minor, and I think that those two, degrees will help me a whole lot. But right now, I'm staying in shape. I'm lifting a lot of weights, running, keeping myself in very good shape as much as I can. And I'm sitting around February the 3rd, I go to the NFL Combines, and I perform for all the pro coaches. And hopefully somebody see something in me they like, and I'll wait around until April and wait for the NFL draft to come. And if I don't get drafted, I know every team, in NFL was waiting to give me a shot. So I'll take my shot and do the best I can. But if not, I'm a criminology major, like I said. With that degree, I can be a psychiatrist, a child psychiatrist. I can take that approach, or I can go into the FBI, which a lot of people has talked to me about going to the FBI, with my bodybuilding, things like that. And as far as my economics degree, I'm in touch with Jason and Company, which is a law firm, and they would like to me for come in and handle some of their economic work. So, I'm just sitting around waiting. I can't do anything right now but wait until the summer, late June, early July, and to see how everything is working out for me, and hopefully it'll work out for the best, meaning football.
So far, you've been successful in your life. What would you tell a kid starting out in the urban area playing sports? Could you give them any advice?
Well, the only advice I can really give to them is to really, if you have parents and things that really don't give you the attention and stuff you need, you have to go somewhere and find it, like come up here to Bentalou, or, go to your urban, it has a lot of urban programs no matter where you live at, that's really going to help the kid. And if you have your parents that's always out and, it's into the street world, you don't need that. So I think of most kids that they have to learn to stay off the streets, because the streets is the devil's work. If you read the Bible and you're into the Bible and things like that, the devil, all the bad influences, that's the way when you're really vulnerable to the streets and things like that, that's when the devil steps in and points you in the wrong direction. So I think I would say for the kids, like to get into the church programs. They have a lot of church programs that's going along, and get into those programs. And if you have really good parents, listen to your parents. Don't worry about your friends, because your parents love you a lot more than your friends. And take these programs and use them. Go to school, get an education, because if you don't, you're gonna end up somewhere that you'll regret very much. And that's all I have to say.
Vernon, I'd like to thank you for being with us this afternoon. This is just another prime example of the people who come out of Bentalou Recreation Center in Baltimore City. Mr. Herman Johnson provides such a positive image for the children that they have no other choice but to succeed.